Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I bid to our lecturer, Dr. Lily, and all my fellow friends. Today, we are from Group 5, would like to present our topic for this week. Okay, first, we are going to cover about workplace ethics and professional ethics, professional accountability, professional integrity, issue in integrity, and the last one, issue in work ethic. Hello everyone, my name is Nur Faziha binti Zahari, and today I will present about workplace ethics and professional ethics. What I am going to cover for today is first, introduction, what is ethics, workplace ethics and professional ethics, workplace ethics, ethical behavior and unethical behavior, professional ethics, code of ethics for teacher. The fourth one, significance of professional ethics in workplace for teacher, and the last one, conclusion for this subtopic. Okay, now let's proceed with introduction. What is ethics? What is workplace ethics? And the last one, what is professional ethics? Okay, according to Neha Singh 2019, ethics means the moral principle that govern a person's behavior or the conducting of an activity. Ethics, also known as moral philosophy, is a branch of philosophy that involves systematizing, defending, and recommending concept of right and wrong conduct, cited from Mahbuba Sultana 2014. In a school context, ethical education helps students to develop, for example, in-depth knowledge and awareness of their own and other culture. This one is cited from Rekha Rani 2019. Okay, now let's proceed. Workplace ethics. According to Helita 2010, workplace ethics is a set of attitude and behavior based on the work value, which is responsible attitude towards work, good work habit, and the belief that work itself is good and useful for development of an individual and the community. The second one, workplace ethics, also known as a series of indicators and categories divided into work habit and work surrounding, which teacher evaluate in student work. Okay, next, let's proceed with professional ethics. Professional ethics is a guiding principle aimed to assist professionals conduct work with commitment, dedication, sincerity, honesty, and with integrity, cited from Karma Serpa 2018. Professional ethics, also known as a set of beliefs with teachers accept regarding relationship with students, colleagues, employers, and parents or caregivers. These beliefs influence the manner in which teachers perform their daily activities. Okay, now let's proceed with workplace ethics. We are going to cover about ethical behavior and unethical behavior. Okay, for ethical behavior, there are four ethical behavior. First, communicate effectively. Communicating effectively may mean different things to people at different points in time. It is very important to teachers to avoid misunderstanding when dealing with an issue in the school. Second, be accountable. It refers to the responsibility towards one teaching profession. The third one is respect your colleague. It doesn't matter whether you are dealing with the intern, a junior, janitor, and so on. They should all be treated with respect. And the last one is professionalism or standard. Professionalism should be held high and applied to every part of a teacher activity in the school. There are professional standards that everything a teacher does in the school. For example, the use of informal words in a formal workplace is highly unprofessional. Okay, next we are going to look into unethical behavior. The first one is lie. Lie is a trait that is detested in and outside the workplace. It kills trust, affects relationship, and may even put people in trouble. So teachers and novice teachers, don't ever lying by adding experience that you didn't acquire and skill you don't have. By lying your requirement, you will be in trouble when the management find out in the future. The second one is taking credit for others' hard work. Take credit for their team members' hard work when reporting to the management and doesn't mention the team member name but claim the idea as his or her. It is not good, okay. Third one is non-office related work. It means teacher do non-office related work during working hour. For example, do a small business like selling Tupperware. It is one of the famous thing that teacher sell at the school. It should be doing outside the working hours to avoid eating into working hours to get the work done. And the last one, extended breaks. People take advantage of this break to do other things outside during working hour. So all teachers should avoid extend their break to avoid they coming late to the class. Next, we are going to take a look on professional ethics, code of ethics for teacher. So as you can see here, this is a poster that I took from Malaysia Ministry of Education website 2020, Standard Guru Malaysia SGM 2.0. So as you can see here, there is 4 teras etika keguruan, which is they are covered on tanggungjawab terhadap profession, tanggungjawab terhadap murid, tanggungjawab terhadap ibu bapa atau penjaga, tanggungjawab terhadap masyarakat dan negara. Okay, now let's take a look on code of ethics for teacher. First, as a professional educator. Second, responsibility towards student. Third, responsibility towards parent, guardian, family, and community. Fourth, responsibility towards professional colleague. And the last one is responsibility toward employers. Next, responsibility towards student. All the teachers should provide learning equally to each student, regardless of their race, ethnic, religion. The student should be treated equally. Second, recognize students' potentiality in terms of their interest in curriculum and also their interest in co-curriculum. The third one, encourage students in learning, health and safety. The fourth one, be fair to each student, justify each student equally. For example, issue of fairness often arise in the relationship to evaluation and grading. So all the teachers should be explicit about how you are going to grade them about their assignment. For example, you can use the rubric. The last one, resolve problem regarding discipline, law and policy. Next, the third one is responsibility towards parents and community. First, establish relationship with parents based on courtesy, mutual trust, and open communication. Second, respect the privacy of a family. Never involve the privacy of a family if you are not needed to involve. The third one, share the information with parents regarding the interest of the student in terms of the interest of student in the sport, co-curriculum, and others activity that held in the school. The fourth one, play an active role in community relation. And the last one, develop the values in students of a democratic society. Next, a responsibility toward professional colleagues. First, assist, support, and encourage newcomers to the profession. Second, do not reveal confidential information about colleagues unless required by law and policy. Third, do not interfere with colleague personal freedom, which can violate individual professional integrity. And the last one, do not provide false statement about your colleague. Okay, the last one is responsibility towards employers. First, be truthful when making statement about qualification and competency. Don't ever lie about your requirement and your skill if you are not going to be trouble in the future. Second, positively promote the improvement of institutional policies. Third, promote cooperation among all agencies and professionals working in the best interest of student and family. Fourth, maintain sound mental health, stamina, social prudence necessary to perform his or her task. And the last one, operate all the communities account honestly to his or her charge. Next, we are going to take a look on significance of professional ethics in workplace for teacher. Okay, according to Kama Serpa, from importance of professional ethics for teachers, teachers should always aware of his or her role and responsibility. Teacher able to adjust with the professional environment of the school, so they are able being a professional teacher and uphold human dignity and promote equality, emotional and cognitive development. Teachers able to show affection, care and love with students. Teacher able to be honest, reliable and dedicated towards school and student. And the last one, teachers always able to stay away from conflict between their professional work and private interests. Okay, as a conclusion, teacher has a responsibility to the society, and in our society, teachers are respected all over. Students usually want to be like their favorite teacher in their personal life. So, if the teacher can set example by their ethical behavior, then it will be easy to preaching ethical issue among the students. If the young generation be aware about ethical issue, then the total society and country will be benefited. Therefore, an important part of society teacher should be ethical, and they should follow the code of ethics of a teacher and should reflect their ethical behavior to their students. And remember, please follow the code of ethics as a teacher. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend, for a great explanation. Hi everyone, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Syahira binti Muhammad Fauzi, and today I will proceed our presentation with a new subtopic, which is professional accountability. In this subtopic, I will discuss with you guys about what is the definitions of professional accountability, the difference between responsibility and accountability, what is the significance of accountability as a teacher, area of teachers' accountability, and lastly, the characteristics of professional accountable teacher. Now, let's start with the first slide. What is the definitions of professional accountability? According to Hall E. and John P., professional is known as a person engaged or qualified in a profession. What is professions? Profession and occupation which perform a crucial social function that has mastery of a complex body of knowledge and skills used in the service and undergo intellectual and practical training in a well-defined area of study. As example, teachers, doctors, and engineers. Next, according to his 2005, accountability is known as the internal and external duty from an individual or organizations to be accountable for the activities, accept responsibility for them, and disclose the results in transparent way, which includes the responsibility for money or other entrusted property. According to Hall E. and John P. 1995, the definition of professional accountability as a teacher means refer to the responsibility towards one teaching professions. For more understanding, now let's see what is the difference between responsibility and accountability. Now, let's take a look. What is the difference between responsibility and accountability? Responsibility means all the physical and mental activities to be performed by an individual in the organizations. Meanwhile, accountability means obligations to complete the job or meet the responsibility. In bahasa, accountability means kewajipan that should be done by someone in order to meet their responsibility. Now, you already know what is meant by professional accountability, which means taking responsible for your actions. Always ensure that you are competent to do the activities, work or tasks that you have been given to complete, and always putting the interest first. According to Mumtaz 2005, there are several characteristics of teachers who are professional accountable, which number one, dedicated and have patience, positive attitude and optimistic doing their work, guide in a right way and update his knowledge time to time, and also make students to do it. Now, refer to the articles written by Rohit Singh 2020 entitled Why Teacher Accountability is Important in the Classroom. He states several significant accountability of a teacher. First, a teacher should be well versed in their course of specializations. According to King and Newman 2000, since teachers have the most direct sustained contact with the students and considerable control over what is taught and the climate for learning, the teacher should improve their knowledge, their skills and disposition through professional development in order to improve the students' achievement. Second, teachers should be well aware of the average required mental ability of their students and work under that perimeter. According to Stingen et al. 2005, found that teacher accountability correlated to their student achievement. which students should be provided with the extra attentions. The concerns of the students is very essential. A good rapport with the students and more interactive classroom environment should be promoted. According to articles written by Ryan Hanna 2013 entitled The Effect of Classroom Environment on Student Learning. This article discussed that the standard for many classrooms today is to have a desk aligned in a row within the classroom. This arrangement seems to make students lose their focus and create higher number of disruptions in the classroom. This structure does not encourage interaction between students and focus more on their individual in completing their own work. Stated by Steve 2013. This is because humans are social creatures that want attention. So, if they are going to be able to get it from their classmates, they will commonly out to get attention from their teachers. One of the first areas that make a noticeable impact on student success is the physical environment in the classroom. This can be pertained to a variety of details, such as colors. According to Steve 2013, each may not have a large effect individually. However, together they can work to strengthen the student's ability to learn. Moreover, in this article also says that the significant accountability of a teacher also play a significant role in developing the ethics and value of the students. The study from Kenro 2010 discussed about the role of a teacher as a moral indicator. The researcher believed that morality is fostered by a good example. Therefore, the first role of a teacher that the researcher discussed in this article was teacher as a role model who set a good example for the students, and there are also a counselor who can provide advice to the student to avoid learning immoral act. The second role of teachers is that they should create a caring environment which is important for moral development of the students. Third, the role of a teacher should teach a students about the importance of ethical behavior through direct instructions or indirect instructions. The last one, the role of a teacher is foster their self-regulations and self-effection. This should be provide opportunity for students to monitor their own study progress and self-development. According to Morgan 2020, students spend too much time online, and this will affect their development. Thus, teacher needs to know about their responsibility and play their part in order to make sure the student do the right thing, and also could help the student to develop their morality. Number 5, a teacher should continuously work toward improving their skills, stated by Cullingford C. 1995, which are learning skill, thinking skill, planning, communication skill, and management skill. What is the area of teachers' accountability? According to articles written by Kanika, the area of teachers' accountability include accountability to the learner, which is students, accountability to a stakeholder or parents, accountability to the community, accountability to professions, accountability to humanities and value, and lastly, accountability to nations. Before I end with these presentations about professional accountability, I come out with one issue under teachers' accountability. Let's take a look under previous study entitled Accountability of Teachers. Does it invigorate transformational leadership in school? In Malay, kepertanggungjawaban guru. Adakah ia memupuk kepimpinan transformasi di sekolah? For this research objective, the main objective of the study was to explore teacher accountability and transformational leadership of teacher in private English medium school of Vadodara City. Second, this study was also intended to find the relationship between teachers' accountability and the transformational leadership. Research finding that I can find from this article. First, the meaning, which is what is teacher accountability. Stated by NITE 2013 and SEC 2009, teacher accountability is considered as one of the most significant factors in both a teaching and learning process. Teacher accountability, according to Eaton 2003, is an evaluations and professional development system that ensure the capability and continuous professional growth of teacher. Furthermore, accountable teachers focus on their student enthusiasm, learning outcomes, and academic success. Stated by Bruce 2005. According to Barton et al. 1986, there are 4 characteristics of teachers' accountability: for moral accountability, professional accountability, legal accountability, and intellectual accountability. What we discussed throughout this presentation is professional accountability. Next, the outcome of this study show research finding. It found that accountability of teachers had a substantial positive correlation with their transformational leadership. It indicates teacher education with high accountability tend to have the high level of transformational leadership. And lastly, teacher accountability is an important factor for school effectiveness and quality education. Those teachers who are highly accountable tend to exhibit the characteristic of transformational leadership. As a conclusion, a good and responsible teacher should have excelled in his teaching subject, but they should be also understand the problem and needs of his students. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Ain Amirah binti Muhammad. I will present on professional integrity. The subtopic that I will cover for professional integrity today is first, definition of integrity and professional integrity. Second, behavioral indicator of professional integrity. Third, ethical standards for the teaching profession. Fourth, the importance of integrity at workplace. And last but not least is tips on maintaining integrity as teacher. Okay, first we take a look on the definition. Okay, in the definition, I will cover on the definition of integrity and the definition of professional integrity. Okay, definition of integrity. Lisa Scotto 2015 said that the concept of integrity has been derived from the Latin term, which is integritas. Okay, integritas meaning as wholeness. So, integrity is defined as consistency between belief, decisions, and actions, and continued adherence to values and principles. So, these values and principles that are added here should be ethical values such as honesty, openness, accountability, and trustworthiness. So, all these values stated models high standard of ethics. Okay, let's take a look on integrity. The definition of integrity from Islamic perspective. Okay, according to Al-Mawrid Dictionary, integrity in Arabic is salamah, which is far from shame and disease, Kamal, perfection. Istiqomah, firmness. Amanah, sincerity. And Talmamamiyah, which is the original word is tamam, which means perfections. By Muneh, 1991, Al-Wasi, 2015, and Al-Mujid, 1988. So, in life, a Muslim is accountable for his or her deeds and stands in integrity to uphold his or her life value. So, someone who has integrity always behave honestly and according to firm moral values and principles. Okay, next is definition of professional integrity. Okay, by Erickson A. 2015, professional integrity is the practice of maintaining appropriate ethical behavior. It is the practice of showing strong adherence to moral and ethical principles and values such as honesty, honor, dependability, and trustworthiness. Okay, people who behave with professional integrity generally uphold a moral standard of conduct, both in professional as well as personal endeavor. So these standards govern how professionals conduct themselves, their work ethic, and their communication practice. So professional integrity is what gives employees a reason to trust that leader will place professional standard over their own self-interest. So remember that honesty is the basis for maintaining integrity. Being trustworthy and reliable are all qualities that characterize someone who has professional integrity. Remember honesty. So let's take a look on behavioral indicator of professional integrity. So behavioral indicator that shows by person who practice professional integrity in his or her work. Okay, the first one is treat others fairly and with respect. Okay, respect means that you accept somebody for who they are, even they are different from you or you don't agree with them. So respect in your relationship builds feelings of trust, safety, and well-being. So respect doesn't have to come naturally, but it is something you need to learn. Okay, the second one is take responsibility for own work, including problems and issues. Okay, remember, honesty is always the best policy, but don't use it to blame others or to make excuse. Okay, instead, focus on your own role in a situation and think about how you can resolve the problem. Okay, remember, do not blame the others, and the most important thing is say sorry. Okay, the third one is use applicable professional standard and establish procedures and policies when taking action and making decision. Okay, confronting and taking reasonable steps to resolve conflict. Okay, ask opinion or seek help if you need them. Okay, as for teacher, try to discuss with your principal, senior assistant, or the other teacher to help in taking actions and making decisions. Okay, number 4. Identifies ethical dilemmas and conflict of interest situation and take action to avoid and prevent them. Okay, for example, like I give you a situation of conflict of interest situation. So, for example, a teacher accepts a lavish gift from a parent even though this violates school policy. Okay, try to avoid this kind of situation because this will cause more trouble in the future. Okay, the fifth one is anticipates and prevent breaches in confidentiality and or security. Okay, as a teacher, there are many rules and standards of conduct that we are required to follow, not just to protect the students, but also to protect your reputation and career as a teacher. So if you are accused of revealing one of those pieces of information that is commonly classified as confidential, it is possible that you could face serious consequence. For example, confidential information that you cannot expose is any medical records that you may access to, or disciplinary records, or any information from a student's education record without permission from the parent or student. The third subtopic is the ethical standard for the teaching profession. Since the Teaching Council June 2012 stated that these are the ethical standards for teaching profession that I had read from the Teaching Council. So the values that should be a teacher had in themselves when they are at school are respect, care, integrity, and trust. But today, I would only emphasize on integrity. So integrity is honesty, reliability, and moral action are embodied in integrity. So teachers exercise integrity through their professional commitments and responsibilities and actions. On behalf of the teaching profession, the Teaching Council set out the following standard that apply to all the registered teachers regardless of their position. Okay, the first one is a teacher should act with honesty and integrity in all aspects of their work. Okay, of course, in teaching profession, we have to work in an honest and integrity, because it is the most important thing than the other values. Okay, the second one is respect the privacy of others and the confidentiality of information gained in the course of professional practice unless a legal imperative requires disclosure or there is a legitimate concern for the well-being of an individual. As I stated before, don't expose confidential information to others regarding your students' information unless if there are any situations that you really need to expose. The third one is represent themselves, their professional status, qualification, and experience honestly. So, of course, we as a teacher, we should represent ourselves honestly, okay? I give you example. For example, like, I am a novice teacher. I'm just started being a teacher for 1 year. And then someone asked me to give a talk at their school. So I said that I am a GC. Padahal saya novice teacher, tapi saya present diri saya guru cemerlang. No, we cannot do that. Okay, the fourth one is conduct assessment and examination related tasks with integrity and in compliance with official regulations and procedure. Okay, for example, like you want to hold an examination, of course you have to follow the official regulation and procedures. Do not just simply, oh, I just want to do like this, I want to do like that. No, you have to follow the official regulations and procedure. Okay, the last one is avoid conflict between their professional work and private interests, which could reasonably be deemed to impact negatively on pupils and students. So, teacher, do avoid conflict. Okay, avoid conflict between your professional work and your private interests, because you know that students always observe us, always looking at us. So when you do something that not good, you do something bad, so it will impact negatively to your students. They won't trust you. Integrity is not just important on a personal level, but it is also vitally important at a workplace level. So let's take a look on the importance of integrity at workplace. Why professional integrity in the workplace is important? Okay, let's take a look. First is stakeholder satisfaction, mentioned by Sarah J. Banks, 2010. She said that stakeholders are typically happier working for someone who they believe is trustworthy and dependable. So someone who could never ask them to compromise their own principles. So integrity in a teacher has been linked to job satisfaction and engagement, better teaching and learning, and lastly, teachers' health and even their life satisfaction, so that it can prevent them from anxiety, stress, and depression. Okay, the second why professional integrity in the workplace is important is Reputations by LWJC Herberts 2018. So in order for stakeholder to trust teacher both in and outside of the organization, teacher need to behave with integrity. Okay, parents need to trust teacher in order to let the teachers teach their children. Okay, principal, senior assistant, and other colleagues need to trust that you will work for goods and the best for the schools. Okay, maintaining professional integrity will allow teacher to build a strong reputation that will increase the trust and comforts others having in doing work, matter, or communicate with you. Okay, the third one is clearer focus. It is also from Sarah J. Banks, 2010. She said that consistently behaving with professional integrity means we have the energy to focus on what is important rather than wasting energy covering up bad practice. Of course, if you are involving yourself in some bad practice such as corruptions, of course you will be wasting your energy to cover up your bad practice. And then the fourth one is stronger performance. Okay, teacher must model strong character traits such as perseverance, honesty, respect, lawfulness, patience, fairness, responsibility, and unity. So as a teacher, you must treat every student with kindness, equality, and respect without showing favoritism, prejudice, or partiality. We might not be perasan, but students do observe us and silently they adore us and make us one of their role model, and they become love our subject. So the most effective way to create a culture of integrity and ethical behavior is to behave with professional integrity. Okay, the last subtopic for professional integrity is the tips on maintaining professional integrity as teacher. Okay, tips on maintaining professional integrity as teacher by Doris A. Santro 2015. Okay, the first one is building trust and respectful relationships. Okay, trust and respect are the ingredients of healthy positive workplace culture. Okay, polite communication, respecting your colleagues' thoughts and ideas, and continuously working on relationship demonstrate that you are a team player. Okay, working as a team build up trust and also shows that people can rely on you. If you are a leader, don't just simply give instruction or pointing fingers to other, but you also act like a group member. You are also a team player working as a team. Okay. And the second one is communicate openly and honestly. Okay, open and honest communication is the way to create or to ensure that people know exactly what is going on around them. So where everybody stands and the best way forward. Create a culture of integrity by encouraging others to be honest with you, even when they make costly mistakes. Okay, reward honesty publicly and repeatedly until everyone on your teams understand that it's always safe and always the best idea to be honest with you. The third tips on demonstrating professional integrity is demonstrate responsible behavior. Ensure that there is no reason for your colleague to ever question your conduct by demonstrating ethical and moral behavior at all times. Okay, this includes avoiding using the school's or company's equipment or resources for personal use. Okay, striving to complete your task before deadline and showing enthusiasm and commitment to your work. For example, like you are the teacher that become the treasurer for PIBG or any club guru. You use all those money without any valid reason, or you use that money for your own uses for shopping. Remember that once you do that, other people will talk you as untrustworthy person. Okay. The fourth tips is work diligently. So this is a very powerful way of demonstrating integrity, as it shows that you are responsible for your work time. Making personal calls, surfing the internet, texting or snacking at the work desk are something of the activities that distract one from working efficiently. So focusing on your job responsibility while at your desk will show your colleagues, principal, or even students that you have a strong work ethic. For example, like I give you a situation. Okay, Cikgu Amirah ni asyik duduk kat kantin je. Bila masanya dia mengajar ni? Oh, Cikgu Amirah ni asyik duduk kat lab aja berborak dengan lab assistant. Or the students might gossiping about you. Aku tengok Cikgu Amirah ni asyik lambat je selalu pagi-pagi. Okay? Shows work diligently. The fifth tips is admit to and learn your mistakes. Okay. It is common to make mistake as you work, but you should admit the mistake without putting the blames on someone else. This shows that you are responsible enough to own up to your mistakes, are willing to correct them and learn from them. If you are a leader, this means taking the blame yourself and not letting your team members take the responsibility. Never pointing a finger to the other people. If you are a leader, work together with the team members so that you understand and knew what to do if something bad happen in the future. So not just simply blames the others. Okay, you work together. Okay, and then the last tip from the article is treat everyone the same. Okay, integrity is about honesty, wholeness, and being the same person in all situations and with all people. Okay, treat the principal, senior assistants, other teachers, and even the novice teacher. And I would like to add one more, which are the practicum teachers with the same level of professionalism and respect, regardless of their level of seniority. Okay, the same applies to students, because every student should be treated with kindness, equality, and respect without showing favoritism, prejudice, or partiality, regardless of the level of their academic performance, physical appearance, background, and entrance. So, as a conclusion, people who behave with professional integrity generally uphold a moral standard of conduct both in professional as well as personal endeavor. Professional integrity in the workplace is so important as this trait foster a positive workplace culture. So one where there is open communication, good decision making, and a strong moral compass guiding all decisions and actions. And for my last word, for my last word is that I learned from professional integrity is at times you may reach a point where you are asked to do something that doesn't go in accordance with your personal code of conduct. This may present a challenging decision for you. But if you have a strong integrity and values, you will refuse to do it. Okay, having the courage to say no is an important skill to learn. So, your integrity is your most trusted friend as it keeps you on the right path. So, make it your goal to be a person of integrity always, no matter how many temptations or challenge you face. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Nurul Fatihah binti Muhammad Noor and I will continue to the issues in integrity. Ain Amira already clearly explained about the professional integrity. So, in my part, I will focus on three things which is academic dishonesty, plagiarism, and fundamental of academic integrity. So first is academic dishonesty. What is academic dishonesty? In Mustafa et al. 2017, they describe the academic dishonesty is any act involving dishonesty in academic works, whether imitating, buying assignments, or copying and printing the work of others without the permission. Academic dishonesty is become a global concern. So, in Mustafa et al. 2017, they had list 10 most items on academic dishonesty among higher education students that adapted from Don McCabe 2011. So, the first item is turn in the work you copied from other students, turn in an assignment on which your parent did the most of the work, got questions or answer from someone who had already taken the test. 4. Let other students copy an assignment. 5. Work on an assignment with another student when lecturers ask for individual work. 6. Copy a few sentences from a book, magazine, or other sources without citing them. 7. Use unpermitted crypt notes or cheat sheets during a test or exam. 8. Copied from other students during a test or exam. 9. Help someone else cheat on a test. And 10. Copy a few sentences from a site on internet without citing them. From the 10 items that being investigated in Mustafa et al. 2017 among higher education students, it shows that the item number 10, 3, 4, and 6 has been highest the percentage of academic dishonesty. It shows that the item number 10 has been the highest percentage from 2014 until 2016, which hold almost 80% of students copied a few sentences from a site on internet without citing them. So the second one is item number 3 that show that the students is the most of students is gradually decreasing the habit of got questions or answer from someone who had already taken the test. It shows that in 2016 they only have 58% of students that doing that habit. So for the item number 4, which is let other students copy an assignment, it shows that the increasing of percentage that student doing that habit. So for the item number 6, copied a few sentences from a book, magazine, or other sources without citing them, has become a little bit of increase, but the item number 10 is most become the highest percentage because nowadays students use more on internet than use a books. So from Mustafa et al. 2017 article, it shows that some of higher education student in Malaysia is copy a few sentences from a site on internet without citing them. So this categorized as plagiarism. So why student plagiarize? So I ask again, why do students plagiarize? On article by Chan et al. 2014, they do a review of why Malaysian students commit the academic dishonor. Chan et al. 2014 said that it is uncommon that a student would plagiarize for a single reason. More often that no is being driven, consciously or not, by a combination of factors. In other words, the reason from each category can overlap. So, I show some figure that from the Chan et al. Article, it shows that the classification of the reason of plagiarism is overlap. So there are three big reasons that being overlap each other. So the first one is historical baggage, second one is institutional demands, and third is individual attributes and perception. So for the first one is historical baggage, which is the factor is the cultural influence and educational background. So for the cultural influence, Park 2003 reported that Asian students are more inclined to plagiarize than their counterpart from the West. So the language barrier makes students tend to replicate sources without proper citation includes. So for the educational background, some of educational background is affected from the previous training in school, such as memorizing the formula to be regurgitated in the examination without understand the content. For example, the math. Some of us know that from the school previous background of our school, we are being taught to memorize the formula even though we do not understand about the formula, is it? So this shows students do not have high critical thinking skill to evaluate and screen the information before combining into a coherent report. So for the second one is institutional demands. So from the institutional demands, it shows that the workload. So excessive workload may be pressure the students until they will find the alternative by borrowing others' work. And the limited time and deadlines looming will push students to do plagiarism. So for the grading system, most of the university shows that coursework evaluation up to 50% of the total marks will be driving students to excel in coursework assessment consists of a written assignment and reports. This will lead to copy and paste because some students may assume that evaluation being made by based on the number of pages and word instead of the actual content. So for the third one is individual attributes and perception. For this point, they have four factors, which is time management, existing skill sets, misinterpretation, and anti-establishment sentiment. So for the time management, coursework in the form of assignment, quizzes, and presentation, which share same timeline, can throw a student to seek out the easiest solution by plagiarism. And for the existing skill set, the lack of language skills brings students to do plagiarism without need to think to paraphrase and cite the words taken by research. So, for the misinterpretation, Chan 2014 stated that the most students will misunderstand the meaning of teamwork, resulting in sloppy participation or over-dependency on other team members. Without solid understanding of content, a reference to a team member's work for guidance can turn into plagiarism with a mixed-match rearrangement of the jointly obtained data. So, for the last one is anti-establishment sentiment. Students consciously commit plagiarism to portray their defiance and disrespect. It shows that from giving too much tasks at one time and they will giving various excuses to justify their plagiarism. So, as a teacher, we need to show and we need always to remind our students a fundamental value of academic integrity. Fishman 2020 headshot the 6 fundamental values of academic integrity, which is honesty, trust, fairness, respect, responsibility, and courage. So, the first one, honesty. As a teacher, we need to always remind students to be honest with themselves in learning in any method of learning, such as in exam. If we do a sum pop quiz, we need to remind the students that they cannot do the cheating, they cannot copy from others. So for the second one is trust. Mutual trust between teachers and students enable them to collaborate, to share the idea freely without fear of the idea will be stolen by others. So for the fairness, teachers need to be fair with all students without being biased. I repeat, teachers need to be fair with all students without being biased, and teachers need to respond immediately if some students being dishonesty while learning. So the fourth is respect. Teachers need to respect all ideas from students by recognizing them as individuals and helping them to develop ideas and give honest feedback on their work on assignment. So for the responsibility, as a teacher, we need to responsible to stand up against students' wrongdoing and resisting negative peer pressure within student itself. So the last one is courage. Teachers need to have a courage for their students, make their choices and follow their decision with actions and maintain the academic integrity. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Nur Fatin Adiba binti Baharudin. So since you have heard about the issues in integrity that have been presented by Fatihah Nur, now I will continue with the issues in work ethic. So let's check it out. Today for my part, I want to highlight 3 things, which is the first one is issues in teachers' working ethic. The second one is 5 principles in teachers' working ethic. And the third one is the values, norms, and ethics in 12 pillars. Now, let's proceed with the first part, which is issues in teaching working ethics. According to Baharin and Susanna 2010, there are some teachers who still go against the teaching standard and fail to understand the ethics and manners that is required. And Hamida et al. 2017 mentioned issues such as teachers' politeness, concerns on teaching profession, appearance, doing business in school, part-time job, time and financial management, as well as ethical issues are most often raised and criticized by the people. Hence, due to the negative perception, the status of teacher is no longer look high, and also the authority of teacher are no longer recognized and are often disputed. I have read one article from Berita Harian Online that wrote by Ila Hafiz Aziz on October 6, 2020, which stated that guru jual makanan kepada murid boleh kena tata tertib buang kerja. So the author highlight that teachers who doing business in school, including selling food to the student during the Recovery Movement Control Order (MCO), can be charged with disciplinary action, including dismissal if found guilty. The author also mentioned that teachers should follow rules and regulations as a public officer. According to Public Officers Conduct and Disciplinary Regulation 1993, Regulation 5 for outside work, which is the head of department may approve the application that should meet the following conditions, which is it is not been done during office hours, and when the time that required to carry out his official duties. And the second one does not affect the usefulness of officers as civil servants. And the third one is does not conflict with the department's interests or are inconsistent with the officer's positions. Therefore, teachers should obey and follow rules and regulations, as well as another two circular from Ministry of Education that related to this, which is the first one is Surat Perkeliling Perkhidmatan KPM bilangan 1 tahun 1999, which is the involvement of officer and staff under Ministry of Education in outside work. For type of work other than tuition teacher and part-time instructor. And for the second one is Surat Perkeliling Perkhidmatan KPM bilangan tahun 2006, which is the guideline for the approval in doing outside work for type of work, tuition teacher and part-time instructor. I have read one article that comparing perception on characteristic of quality teachers and future teachers for schools in Malaysia by Tan Wee Ho 2018. So this article compared the characteristic of quality teachers against the characteristic of future teachers for Malaysia. And the objective of this study wants to explore and examine the perception of Malaysian undergraduate students who had completed primary and secondary education upon the characteristic of quality teacher and future teachers for Malaysia. And this is qualitative study, which is the sample is 70 for first-year students in a public university in Malaysia. For result and finding, it shows that being punctual was in the first rank, where 22 respondents vote for teacher to be punctual in teaching, and for the second one is spotting, where 15 respondents vote for spotting teacher, and another one is responsible, where 14 respondents vote for these characteristics. And both knowledgeable and pretty or handsome were ranked 4, while dedicated and open-minded were ranked 5th. In other words, the respondent expected quality teachers for now and future as knowledgeable, pretty ladies or handsome men who are sporting, dedicated, open-minded, responsible, and also punctual at work. So for table 2, the data were sorted and coded to form four themes, which were attitudes to teaching profession, attitude to students, teachers' knowledge, and physical appearance. And these themes were compared to identify common and different characteristics between quality teachers and future teachers. As the result, it shows that the most of respondents concerned about teachers' attitude to teaching profession. A measure of the preferred characteristic were found common between quality teacher and also future teachers. For the respondent, generally expected quality teacher are as constantly knowledgeable, pretty ladies or handsome men who are sporting, dedicated, open-minded, responsible, and punctual at work that I have mentioned at table 1. And this study all indicate that the perceived quality of present teachers may not fit for the future. Thus, the concept of quality teachers should be updated from time to time, leading to the constant need to research and keep abreast with the latest teachers educational model. Now, let's proceed with teachers' working ethic. According to Alice et al. 2019, teachers' working ethic is vital in order to ensure the dignity of the teaching profession is always being respected in the eyes of society. And success and achievement of educational goals are closely related to teachers' awareness toward their responsibilities as educator. And Alice et al. 2019 also state that teachers become role models for students and even become disseminators of the good values toward society and are responsible for the welfare and well-being of all students. Where the author highlight or mention the relationship between work ethic with with tingkah laku guru dan pelajar, where when we practice amalan etika kerja, there will be changes in tingkah laku guru and also the changes in tingkah laku pelajar. Therefore, the established teachers' working ethic should be appreciated, and proper guidance is important to assist the teachers in implementation, as cited in Hamida et al. 2017. As cited in Alice 2016 and Hamida et al. 2017, which they highlighted working ethics by Ministry of Education 2003, which is there are 5 principles teachers working ethic, where the first one is have the right intention. Alice 2016 stated that teachers must perform their duties with the right intention as required by religion. And teachers also need to be sincere, make quality contribution, and always renew their intention for good and meet the needs of FPK and also MOE, which is Ministry of Education. And the second principle is good treatment, where teachers need to do their job perfectly. In addition, teachers also need to show their best self-appearance, speech, and actions at all times. And the third principle is driving towards goodness, where teachers should drive toward goodness. Therefore, teachers need to present themselves as dynamic, advanced, competitive, excelling in the work and quality of work, as well as always strive to be the best employees. And for the fourth principle is keep up the work, where teachers should always strive to keep up the word, and they need to show consistency and respond action, and the thing that teachers do must be in accordance with what they said and always conform to what is stated in the client's charter. And for the last principle is discipline and civilized, where teacher must always maintain or shows their good manner as required by religion, and always comply with the rules and instruction of the service, and always guided by the correct procedure and method. So before I end my part, I want to highlight guidelines of 12 pillars that serve as a guidance to all the civil servants in carrying out their duties as public servants. You know that teachers are recognized as public servant, right? So the value, norms, and ethics in the 12 pillars become the basics and guidance to the society, and also to each individual in performing an action, where it was adopted from Kuala Lumpur Intan 1992, which is tonggak 12 penerapan nilai norma dan etika perkhidmatan. The pillars also outline 12 warnings related to the value, namely the value of time, the success of perseverance, the pleasure of working, the dignity of simplicity, the worth of character, the power of kindness, the influence of example, the obligation of duty, the wisdom of economy, the virtue of patience, the improvement of talent, and the last one is the joy of originating. That's all from me. Thank you.